Hello, hello boys and girls, welcome back, and well, here we go for the final showdown, the final face-off of this best out of 3, taken from last week's Black Dragon League. Once more, for the third time, a face-off here between the Red Zerg, DIMAGA, Ukrainian Master and member of Team mTW, and his opponent, the Green Protoss Nani. He's using this name now, but he's Naniwa. Also, I remember him using the name Razor Nani, and well, he's the Swedish player. Quite a strong and solid Protoss player that apparently is now getting more established, getting more solid, and well, that probably is going to start showing on his gameplay. At least I'm hoping for. We all need some strong Protoss players, as you guys know. Another thing, just gonna throw a couple of spoilers here for whoever didn't watch the previous 2 matches. You should go watch them, obviously. Being this the third match means that the game is tied 1-1. On the first match, just DIMAGA just dominated Naniwa after he attempted the 4-gate push. And on the second match, I really enjoyed that match, though it was fairly straightforward, because Naniwa went for a kind of an unorthodox build, something that you don't see every day. Plenty of Phoenixes backed up by a load of Immortals, and well, it paid off, it worked, just simple as that. So it was pretty impressive, I really liked it. And well, the end result is that we're here on this third game. So following this game, and we'll see who takes the final victory in it. As you can see by the positions on the spawnings here on Metalopolis, you're gonna have crossed spawning positions. This supposedly would be beneficial for DIMAGA. At least it will allow him to just try to make a fast expand early on without having that many troubles, that much hassle coming from Naniwa. Or it will allow him as well to predict and actually react to his opponent's pushes and advances later on in the mid and late game with a bit of ease, because he's going to have time to answer back and prepare his defense. As you can see, apparently DIMAGA still is not going to risk the 14 hatch. He decided to go for the spawning pool once more, while here on Naniwa's side he's finishing his wall off. There's going to be like a little gap there apparently, and it's gateway into cybernetics core, so still fairly standard. Not much going on for now, and meanwhile Naniwa was just making sure that his opponent wouldn't be able to get a 14 hatch, just left the probe. But once again, DIMAGA just denying that pleasure to Naniwa, just saying, I'm not gonna go for any 14 hatch, you can relax, just pick up your probe and take it back or I'll kill it. And that's what happened here. And as you can see, DIMAGA going for the Zergling speed once more. Still no expo. I think he's gonna pick it up now at 20, yeah, 21. So fairly late hatchery, but still working just fine, just part of the plan, as you guys know. While Naniwa still hasn't built anything else, he's getting the Warp Gate technology and the first Zealots out. I'm just wondering if he's planning any kind of proxy pylon, because for now there's not much going on proxy-wise. As you can see, he's just placing his pylon here on the back of his base, making sure he's gonna have a way to detect any kind of movement that might appear there. I mean, drops on the Zerg player are not that common, you might get that eventually, but you'll never know. Also might be a good counter or a good control method to any kind of NIDA's network that might pop up there on the back, so might be the reason why he's having that one there. And meanwhile, Naniwa apparently is going to go for the same opening he did on the previous match, with a fairly early and fast Stargate, followed by a gateway. So I guess you're going to see plenty of air units once more, or at least an attempt by Naniwa of getting air units flying around and harassing his opponent. Not sure on this situation which way he's going for. As you might imagine, Phoenixes are useful for scouting purposes and also to contain the movement from all the overlords. Make sure that the overlords will be contained inside their bases and won't be flying around and positioning themselves in ways that will allow DIMAGA to take a peek at what Naniwa is doing. But the Void Ray is also quite menacing, and apparently for now DIMAGA still doesn't have much to defend. He has the Queens, that's basically it. Getting now the Roach Warren, so not air defense as well, though he will benefit from the fact that he will have all this distance for any kind of Void Ray or Phoenix to cover. Apparently Naniwa is going to go for the Void Ray, while he's preparing at the same time the first pylon out of his main base, stretching his build, probably preparing to establish his expo. There it is, finally going down the Nexus. This Zergling was just here to keep tabs, obviously he's not going to be able to do anything, but it allows DIMAGA to notice the exact moment his opponent, he's going to go for his natural expo. So DIMAGA now knows that he's pulling ahead. He's been working on his natural exfil for a while now. Income wise, it will show, obviously. As you can see, there's already a bit of a gap, though the harvester count still fairly similar. Apparently DIMAGA squeezed 3 more harvesters on his build, that's basically it. And now he's getting the lair tech, so he knows he needs to keep moving on. Also, he's getting the map control, complete map control on this situation with both Zelnaga watchtowers controlled, so he will be able to spot any movement advancing towards him while having this Zergling that has been roaming around, just keeping tabs, seeing where nAni is going first, or making sure that if he's heading anyway, heading that way south of his main base, he will be able to at least have a small warning shot before any kind of units from Naniwa actually appear on his base. So production tab once again, there's more queens coming out. DIMAGA is a big fan of queens, as you guys know. I already seen mass queen strategies being done by DIMAGA, and now with the first Phoenix he's gonna fly above the bases and take a look at everything that DIMAGA is building. There's already there on that corner, I gotta check what that is. There's several buildings getting developed now by DIMAGA. Let's take a look at them, see what they're actually building there. Hydralisk then, good counter against air units obviously, and an Evo chamber for the upgrades. Also pneumatized carapaces already coming out, along with the roach speed and Zergling missile attack. So plenty of upgrades for now for DIMAGA, while on Naniwa's side is now going for the robotics bay. So we're gonna have some Colossi play, something that we still didn't see from Naniwa, at least not that much. And maybe this time he's gonna commit himself to a plenty of Colossi and a very strong Colossi play. Keep in mind that, like I already commented on previous matches, Colossi have something that I like to call a critical mass, and usually it's obtained when you have like 4 or 5 Colossi. They just rip through front lines of roaches and Zerglings, they just melt them like butter. So if DIMAGA allows Naniwa to get to that point, things might get dangerous for him. Apparently for now DIMAGA is just committed to a big macro game, and Naniwa isn't actually applying any kind of pressure, so he's just allowing DIMAGA to keep pumping ahead, keep plowing ahead on his base count and advancing. He's gonna spot this third base now. There it is, the Phoenix flying over and killed, but he spotted that DIMAGA is gonna go for the third base, so he knows that he has to advance. Notice this detail on the map control by DIMAGA. Notice how he has this Zergling here, making sure that he will know when his opponent is gonna prepare himself to pick up the third base second expo, and he will be able to control his game and advance based on his timings to apply pressure or defend, or be aware of any kind of pressure incoming from Naniwa. And well, just lost that Zergling, so I guess that I was just totally wrong, or he's gonna send another one there. Yeah, he's gonna send another one, but I think that's the purpose for him to have the Zergling based here on this area. It's basically the second expo, third base from Naniwa, at least the one that he's supposed to go to. So might be his next option. For now, not much getting built. As you can see, there's now the spire down there on the natural expo, and also a second hatchery already ready on the natural expo from DIMAGA. So I think he's pleased with the unit composition he's able to assemble now, and he just wants to mass produce as much as possible. Meanwhile, Naniwa getting more gateways. The Forge is here getting some upgrades for his units as well, and as you can see, army composition 102 against 109. Now a big boost there by DIMAGA, a lot of units getting built, and it translates into almost 20 Zerglings, plenty of queens for queens. There's Hydralisks, and that's basically it. Apparently for now Naniwa has a more interesting mix of units, at least I would say so. DIMAGA is basically a bunch of Zerglings, and here they are trying to gain control over the Zelnaga watchtower once again. But there's Void Rays, there's plenty of stuff from on Naniwa's side, and DIMAGA's army at the moment apparently is a bit single-minded, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of Zerglings and that's basically it. But now he's gonna start getting a mix here. Roaches and Mutalisks are popping up. There's the Spire already getting some upgrades, and at the same time stretching his Zerg tentacles to the fourth base. Meanwhile here on Naniwa's side, apparently he's planning to just go and take a bit of a gamble and try to grab the rich mineral field instead of going for the other base that he is supposed to grab. Yes, he is. He's going to attempt to get a Nexus here, and it's kind of a risky and bold maneuver, but it might pay off later on. And at the same time, he's just flanking all the purpose that this Zergling has, which is to give a warning to DIMAGA when is the opponent grabbing that base, and basically you won't get that sign because he's going straight into the rich mineral field. So risky option, but quite important for Naniwa. Keep in mind that on the econ game he is falling behind, so it is important for him to try to take that risk, take that chance, and get himself back into this game. For now, Mutalisk Wing flying around, taking a peek at all the buildings, all the structures that are already available on that main base from Naniwa. And at the same time, DIMAGA just finished his hatchery, his 4th base, and he's going to try to establish his 4-base play. So DIMAGA committed to plenty of a macro game, a econ game, which has been paying off for now. He's trying to contain the movements for Naniwa. Also keep in mind that Naniwa hasn't been very aggressive, he hasn't been containing much from DIMAGA's advance, and he's just grabbing as much of the map as he can. Obviously this will have its consequences. Naniwa needs to do something about this, and apparently he's just advancing with the bulk of his forces against this small Mutalisk Wing, getting poked at it, killing some more Mutalisks, and the bulk of the forces here facing off against not such big Mutalisk Wing exactly. I think that DIMAGA noticed that, and he just decided to pull back once more. And meanwhile there was a big assault occurring on the rich mineral field from Naniwa. Big Zergling tsunami advancing into the main base and the Natural Expo, trying to grind down as much as possible. Most of the units are just getting chewed down by all of those Colossi, and now the Mutalisk finally showing up to back it up, but these Colossi are just melting Zerglings so fast. And meanwhile all those Void Rays with their beams just backing up the forces, and apparently there's another assault ensuing on the rich mineral field. DIMAGA attempting to snipe, and boom! Oh, nice move here. DIMAGA making a 2-pronged attack that allow him to assault the rich mineral field and stop Naniwa from working there, and at the same time he was just wreaking havoc on the Natural Expo and main base from Naniwa. So pretty impressive move there, and apparently Naniwa isn't pleased with it. He went once again to establish his nexus on the rich mineral field, and at the same time he's going to push ahead with the bulk of his army. Let's compare armies. 200 the maxed army for DIMAGA against 162 for Naniwa. All of those Colossi melting away roaches and Zerglings, and notice the Void Rays with their beams just getting charged up full to max and melting away as many of those Mutalisks as possible. Loads of kills. Look at this, 13 kills, 10 kills, 9 kills, and the Void Rays also has plenty of kills, backed up by all of those Stalkers and Sentries that were under the legs of the Colossi, and they just were able to basically balance, even out the armies. As you can see here, look at the difference now after that big clash. So Naniwa pushing ahead, he's trying to finish off this hatcheries here on the Natural Expo. The extra hatchery that DIMAGA established there just got finished, and now he's focusing fire on the other hatchery on the Natural Expo, while there's a bunch of roaches trying to get a nice surround and melt away, spew acid on all of these Protoss units, focusing fire on those Colossi, but still wasn't good enough. I'm sorry for taking off the bars, the HP bars, but I mean, when there's air units and ground units and everything flying around, it's a huge mess. It's quite hard to actually see anything proper. So now with the HP bars back again, as you can see, Naniwa just destroying this Natural Expo from DIMAGA. DIMAGA still has 3 bases to play from. I think he still might be able to recover from this blow, but now Naniwa is going to go straight into the infrastructure, and this might be painful because he's going to focus fire on the buildings that allow DIMAGA to actually build these units. Focusing fire on that layer now, he just skipped the Hydralisk Den, and now a small group of roaches trying to offer resistance, but there's not enough, not even close, and so many workers are hidden under the smoke, behind the smoke, and now they're all going to get melted down. Oh, so many kills for all of these Colossi. Let's see, that one has 6, 1, and 32 kills on that Colossi. Oh my god, huge aggression here. And I think DIMAGA is staging a counter-attack to this offensive by Naniwa. Yes, he is. Here comes a group of roaches advancing into the rich mineral field once again, getting rid of the few defenses here, some zealots, and now the static defenses. They have to destroy the photo cannons. Still didn't touch the mineral line. They have to do something about it, obviously, getting rid of the defenses, but Naniwa porting some units in, some Stalkers, and the Void Ray, to which the roaches can't do a single thing. And now the forces that were north from Naniwa heading down south, helping out, getting rid of the roaches. There's still 2 Colossi here. One just got destroyed. Second Colossus almost getting killed. The roaches are after him, and yes, they did it. They're still going for the 3rd Colossi, but the rest of the remaining forces that were destroying the bases north from DIMAGA just came down, and all of those Void Rays, obviously, to which the roaches can't do a single thing, were just getting rid and dispatching roaches left and right, and killed most of the forces. So apparently DIMAGA just had his army completely ruined, as you can see, and now we have Naniwa preparing himself to advance against the remaining bases from DIMAGA. I don't think that DIMAGA has what it takes to recover from this. He still has a small group of roaches here on the south, as you can see. He's actually trying to advance now, once again pulling into that rich mineral field apparently. Yes, he is. He's going to try his luck on the rich mineral field once again, but I mean, it's only 5 roaches. They won't be going very far. Even with Burrow, I mean, there's no use. They're just escaping now and getting pursued by Naniwa's forces, while a second group advances into the remaining bases from DIMAGA and finishes off the work. And apparently Naniwa just had a huge power force here, was just able to melt away all the forces, all the bases from DIMAGA, and that big push with the maxed out force that just had DIMAGA having to say GG and having to leave this match, and Naniwa taking the final victory. Massive push with the maxed out army, such power on the Protoss side, and whoa, very impressive. Actually, I was considering during the shoutcast that DIMAGA was actually taking the lead, and he was doing a huge macro game, and on the econ game he was just fine, but well, the power of the Protoss army is just basically here, as you guys can see. Maxed out Protoss army, just beware, be careful. And also a quite nice unit composition, I would say, by Naniwa. Void Rays quite useful, and also obviously the big Colossi force that helps a lot. Well, game done, series over, 2-1, Naniwa win, and he's gonna continue on the Craft Cup, another win for him. Hope you guys enjoyed this match. See you all later.